Hello viewers, hope you are all well. Before I begin, I would advise all my viewers to check links of valuable resources related to CSCP exam in the description box of my video. Secondly, I would recommend watching the video till the end as I have included a 15 question quiz on the topic. This quiz will assist you in assessing your comprehension of the subject matter. Drawing from my personal experience, I found that quizzing myself on various topics while preparing for my CSCP exam greatly contributed to my comprehensive understanding and mastery of the material. As a result, I have chosen to incorporate quizzes at the conclusion of these topic lecture videos. Today we are going to discuss stages of supply chain management evolution. The progression of supply chain management over recent decades is evident through distinct stages of development. Within the field of supply chain management, experts generally concur on the presence of 4 to 5 stages, which are stage number 1, multiple dysfunction, stage number 2, semi-functional enterprise, stage number 3, integrated enterprise, stage number 4, extended enterprise, stage number 5, orchestrated supply chain. Let's begin with stage 1, that is multiple dysfunction. Let me start my discussion by simplifying this figure on the screen to my viewers. The big square in the middle of this figure is a central company which has multiple internal departments like purchasing, marketing, logistics, and distribution. There are two other external entities that are suppliers and customers which are located outside this square box. And then you see small boxes of data with cross on it. One such cross is inside the box which represents absence of management or coordination between the internal departments like purchasing, marketing, logistics, and distribution. Two similar boxes of data with a cross on it are located on the sides of the square as well. One on the right side represents that there is no coordination of central company with the customers, and the other cross box on the left represents that there is no coordination between the central company and suppliers too. This whole image represents that there is notable absence of structured management, both internally and externally. Such an organization is maintaining external connections solely on a transactional basis. This phase characterizes a reactive supply chain, primarily focused on meeting demand with limited concern for cost optimization. It is commonly perceived as a cost center and operates with minimal reliance on advanced competitive or connectivity technologies and capital assets to fulfill demand. Let us discuss some more characteristics of this kind of a supply chain. Ad hoc activities. Imagine a company that doesn't plan its work processes. They just do things as they come up without a structured plan. It's like they are building a product without a blueprint. Vague management. The company's leaders don't give clear guidance. They might give motivational speeches sometimes, but they don't provide detailed instructions. At worst, they might even threaten their employees, which isn't great for morale. Uncertain forecasting. When the company tries to predict what products will be in demand, they mostly guess. And sometimes they guess too optimistically because they are too hopeful about their product's success. It's like betting on a horse without knowing its track record. Isolated product design. When creating new products, they don't talk to other teams like manufacturing or marketing for advice. It's like designing a car without asking engineers or marketeers for their input. Inefficient warehousing. The company places their warehouses close to markets but fills them with too much inventory, hoping for a big sale. They hire workers who aren't well trained. So it's like having a garage full of stuff you might never use and your tools are a bit rusty. Unplanned transportation. When products arrive on trucks or trains, they unload them right away without knowing if they need them immediately. It's like unloading a delivery truck without checking if the items are needed at that moment. Limited communication. Inside the company, there isn't much sharing of information. They mainly use communication for giving orders, accepting bids, and sending invoices. It's like talking to your colleagues only when you need something specific, not for brainstorming or collaborating. Basic material planning. The company plans its materials at a basic level. They have a list of what they need and what they have, but it's not very detailed. It's like making a simple shopping list without planning your meals. Random purchasing. Their purchasing department doesn't have a structured approach. They sometimes buy from different suppliers without consistency. Plus, they don't consult with the logistics teams for input. It's like shopping for groceries without a list and buying from various stores without comparing prices. In a nutshell, this company lacks proper organization, clear communication, and strategic planning. It's essential for businesses to have well thought out processes, open communication, and collaboration between different departments to operate efficiently and make informed decisions. Stage 2, Semi Functional Enterprise. Look at the big square in the middle of this image, which is a central company. You can see that internal departments have aligned. Things have improved compared to earlier stage. Information is flowing better within the company and they have defined different areas or functions within the organization. Each of these functions knows its role and what it is supposed to do, but there is an issue. These functions are working somewhat independently. They do their task one after the other without much collaboration. It's like they are running a relay race, passing the baton, but not really talking to each other about how to run faster or more efficiently. So, in short, you can say collaboration among internal departments is missing. Moreover, at this stage, the company has not started forming partnerships with its customers or suppliers. So they are not teaming up with others outside the organization to create more value or come up with their better ways of doing things. In simpler terms, it's like having a well organized team where everyone knows their position, but they are not yet working closely together or brainstorming with others outside their team to make the whole organization perform even better. This stage shows room for improvement in terms of collaboration and partnerships. In this stage of supply chain evolution, which is called a reactive efficient supply chain, a company focuses on being really good at what it does, but it's mainly reacting to things that happen rather than planning ahead. The company in this stage wants to be competitive by being efficient and low cost. It pays a lot of attention to how much it costs to make and deliver its products. To become more efficient, the company invests in technology and machines that can do tasks instead of people. This helps reduce labor cost and makes the company's operations run smoother and faster. Here are some examples of what the company might be doing at this stage to become more efficient. Warehouse improvement. They might add machines to help with tasks in their warehouses which used to be done mainly by hand. Inventory management. They work on ways to keep less inventory in their own facilities. This helps save money and space. Smart procurement. They use new strategies to buy things they need at the lowest prices possible. Transportation savings. They try to reduce how much they spend on transportation by carefully choosing carriers and routes. Skill enhancement. Some departments work on training their employees better and making their jobs more challenging. Better marketing. The marketing department focuses on improving their research and forecasting methods to understand the market better. Software and integration. They might use special software like MRP2 to plan their manufacturing better, and they try to get different departments to work together more closely. However, there is a change here. Even though each department is trying to get better, they often don't talk to each other enough. This can be a problem because one department might find a great opportunity in the market, but if they don't share it with another department, they might miss out on making their products even better. Also, sometimes they use different software in different departments and it doesn't always work well together. This can happen especially if the company has merged with or bought other companies and they all use different systems. So it's like having a bunch of talented players on a team, but they are not passing the ball to each other. And sometimes they are playing with different rules. Stage 3, Integrated Enterprise. Look at the big square in the middle of this image, which is a central company. You can see that all internal departments are now connected with an ERP system on the top of the square. At this stage, the company isn't just reacting to things that happen, it's being proactive, which means it's planning ahead. It tries to make things simpler and cheaper. For example, they might come up with the new idea for making their products with simpler materials which can save money. They change the way products are designed to make them work better and cost less. They invest in special computer systems that help different parts of the company share information easily. To help you picture it, think of the company like a big orchestra. In the past, each musician played their own music separately. Now they are all playing together, following a conductor's lead. This makes the music sound and work much better. The picture shows this idea visually, where different parts of the company work together like a well-tuned orchestra using special software called Enterprise Resource Planning (ERP). In this stage, things really start to change for the better. Here is what makes it different from the previous stage. Improved communication. They use more advanced technology like electronic communication, file transfers, and powerful databases. This makes it much easier for people in different parts of the company to work together, even if they are in different places around the world. Faster processes. They work on making everything faster, from getting orders from suppliers or delivering products to customer. They use advanced software like MRP2 and ERP to help different parts of the company talk to each other. This means that manufacturing and finance, for example, can now communicate and plan together. Better product design. When they design products, they don't do it in isolation. Different teams like production engineers, marketing, and purchasing all work together with the design engineers. They design products that customers want, and they do it in a way that's easy to make and doesn't require expensive changes to the way things are done. Improved customer service. They get really smart about dividing their customers into different groups and making sure each group gets what they need quickly. Strategic inventory. They start thinking more carefully about how much inventory they have. They use strategies like just in time, where they only have as much inventory as they need right when they need it. This saves money and makes sure they have enough products for customers. Smart warehousing and transportation. They make decisions about warehouses and transportation together to find the best balance between saving money and making customers happy. Warehouses get better equipment and more automation to work more efficiently. Integration with partners. The company might start working more closely with other companies in their supply chain. For example, they might hire a logistics company like UPS to help them make smart decisions about how to move things around. Think of it like upgrading from a regular phone to a super smartphone. You can do much more and everything happens faster and more smoothly. The company is getting really good at working as a team and making sure customers are happy. Stage 4, Extended Enterprise. In this stage, companies take a big step forward by working closely with other companies in their supply chain. Here is how it works. Instead of just focusing on what happens inside their own company, they start working with their suppliers, companies that provide them with material, and customers, the people who buy their products. They team up with these suppliers and customers to plan, design, and manage their products and services together. It's like they become one big team even if they are separate companies. By breaking down barriers, they break down the walls between companies in the supply chain. They share information, ideas, and plans to make everything work better. As you can see in the middle square, not only suppliers, but suppliers are part of the central company. And not only customers, but customers are part of the central company. In this advanced stage, the supply chain becomes a strategic powerhouse. The goal is to make things more efficient and improve the quality of what they offer to customers. They work together to make products and services that people really want. Usually, they start by teaming up with one supplier or customer. This partnership shows them how well it can work. If it goes well, they might do it with more partners and eventually connect the whole supply chain together. Imagine it is like playing a team sport. Instead of each player trying to score on their own, they pass the ball and work together to win the game. In the picture, you can see how all the different parts of the supply chain are now connected, like a big, well organized team. Here is what sets it apart: full integration. Everything from creating demand for products to fulfilling that demand is perfectly connected and coordinated. Driving strategy. The supply chain becomes a key driver in the organization's overall strategy. It's not just a support function, it plays a central role in shaping the company's plans. Sharing knowledge. Companies in the supply chain share their know how, technology, and real time information with each other. This cooperation is what makes this stage special. Starting small, it often begins with a trial collaboration between a leader in the supply chain, like a big store or a major manufacturer, and one or a few of its partners. They might start by working together on one product or component. If this goes well, it can expand to include more products, more sharing of information, and even closer teamwork. Tech supercharge. Technology plays a big part. They use advanced planning software that connects the whole internal supply chain. This means everyone involved can work together seamlessly. Connected network. The supply chain is like a well linked network. Companies synchronize their systems so they can easily share data. For example, when you buy something from a store, it can instantly trigger the production of a replacement item. Teamwork rules. They break down barriers between different parts of the company. Instead of each team doing their own thing, they have regular meetings where they plan together. This is especially important in dealing with customer demand and production schedules. E-commerce and beyond. They are at the forefront of e-commerce with interactive websites for customers and efficient business to business deals. In a global marketplace, whole supply chain compete, not just individual companies. In simple terms, it's like a well orchestrated symphony where everyone plays their part perfectly and the result is a top notch performance. Stage 5: Orchestrated Supply Chain, which is also known as supply chain digital transformation in some regions, like Europe, where it is called Industry 4.0. This stage is all about making the most out of the improvements made in various parts of the supply chain. Unlike the earlier stages, it is more about how well your supply chain performs compared to others. To truly reach this stage, your supply chain should gain a competitive edge over others through better organization and coordination. Achieving this isn't just about using advanced technology. It also requires skilled leaders and teams who can use these technologies effectively and adapt quickly to changes. So, it's not just about the tools, it's also about having the right people and processes in place. In this stage, security, resilience, which means being prepared for unexpected challenges, value realization, getting the most value out of your supply chain, and coordinating people and processes become even more important. It's like taking the supply chain to the next level by optimizing everything and gaining a real advantage over the competition. A visual representation of how this stage looks with a core supply chain model similar to the previous stage but with more focus on security, resilience, value, and making sure people and processes work together effectively. It is a consistent and systematic supply chain, especially focusing on the following key points. Cross-functional teams. In this stage, improvement and change management teams are made up of a people with different skills and backgrounds. They are both technically and socially skilled, which means they can work well with technology and with other people in the organization. Change management culture. Change management culture is not just a process, it's a part of organization's culture. People in the organization are used to change and they receive the support they need to adapt to it. The organization as a whole embraces change because they understand the benefits it brings. Data integrity and security. Data is not only secure but also trustworthy. It is used for making decisions, meaning that it's not just sitting there but actively contributing to improving the supply chain. End-to-end visibility. There is a focus on resolving technology gaps to achieve complete visibility across the entire supply chain, from sourcing to delivery. This means knowing what's happening at every stage of the process. Right sizing and resilience. Sourcing is optimized for efficiency but is also adaptable and resilient in the face of unexpected challenges. The number of products is adjusted to meet actual needs. Shared processes and policies. Processes are shared across the organization and policies are enforced consistently. Automation is common, which means repetitive tasks are handled automatically. Cross functional collaboration. To close gaps in the technology or processes, cross functional teams involving key supply chain partners are essential. These teams need to have expertise in various areas, and strong leadership is crucial for driving these changes. Improving IT relationships. Building better relationships with IT professionals is often necessary because past initiatives may not have delivered as expected. IT needs to be more strategic, especially in addressing cybersecurity concerns due to increased connectivity with partners. Embracing digital transformation. The digital transformation here goes beyond simply digitizing document or control systems. It involves seamless data exchange among partners and integrates demand data into planning systems. Control systems become more centralized and real-time data feeds into predictive analytics and automation. Data-driven product development. Data plays a key role in product development. Products are designed not only based on customer requirements but also considering supply chain efficiency and sustainability. Overall, this stage represents a highly advanced and well organized supply chain where technology, people, and processes work together seamlessly to optimize operations and respond effectively to changes and challenges. I would like to share this chart for my students, for my viewers, so that it becomes easy for them to remember all these 5 stages of supply chain evolution. Let's start with supply chain type. Multiple dysfunction is reactive. They only react when something happens. Semi-functional enterprise is reactive efficient because they are somewhat connected with each other. So they are somewhat aligned. Integrated enterprise is proactive efficient, which means they are aligned and they somehow plan in advance. Extended enterprise is a strategic driver, and orchestrated supply chain is consistent and systematic. Material planning tool. In multiple dysfunction supply chain, MRP is used. And in semi-functional enterprise manufacturing resource planning, MRP2 is used. Whereas integrated enterprise use company-wide integrated ERP. This is internal, okay? The company is internally and externally integrated in both extended enterprise and orchestrated supply chain. Let's see how communication takes place in each of the stage. In multiple dysfunction, since the departments are not connected, so the communication is informal and poor. In semi-functional enterprise, the communication still remains informal, but there is a limited internal communication. In integrated enterprise, there is formal and with internal sales and operations planning because now the company is getting organized. In extended enterprise, the communication is formal and data is shared and information is shared across the supply chain. In an orchestrated supply chain, communication is formal and data is shared and information is shared across the supply chain in a highly secured environment. So the difference between the extended enterprise and orchestrated supply chain is the communication takes place in a very secured environment. Let's see how training takes place in each of the stages. In multiple dysfunction, there is no concept of training, whereas in semi-functional enterprise, their somewhat soft skills are developed because the departments are getting connected, they are getting a little organized. In integrated enterprise, internal teams, coaches, and mentors, they train. And in an extended enterprise, cross-functional training across the supply chain takes place. Same goes for orchestrated supply chain, that cross-functional training across the supply chain takes place with an ability to handle the change. The change management is a major factor in orchestrated supply chain. Therefore, they train accordingly so that the employees are able to handle the change. Continuous process improvement. In multiple dysfunction, there is no concept of improvement. Whereas in semi-functional enterprise, the continuous improvement takes place in some of the functional departments. In integrated enterprise, continuous improvement takes place in internal functional areas only. Whereas in extended enterprise, continuous improvement concept is considered across the supply chain. In an orchestrated supply chain, continuous improvement takes place across the supply chain with an emphasis on change management culture. This is a very, very important point which you should remember, that the difference between extended enterprise and orchestrated supply chain is that the orchestrated supply chain focuses more on change management culture. Silos. In both multifunction and semi-functional enterprise, the departments are working in silos, whereas in integrated enterprise and extended enterprise, silos are eliminated. When it comes to orchestrated supply chain, silos are eliminated and the end-to-end visibility is provided. Integration. There is no concept of integration in multiple dysfunction stage, and it somewhat improves in semi-functional enterprise, which is that's why it is written limited there. In integrated enterprise, the integration is only internal among the departments, whereas in extended enterprise, integration is internal and external both via technology. Orchestrated supply chain is integrated both internally and externally via technology and via skilled leaders and teams. Teams. There is no concept of teams in multiple dysfunction, whereas in semi-functional enterprise, teams are somewhat formed in some departments. In integrated enterprise, internal cross-functional teams are made, whereas in extended enterprise, internal and external functional teams are formed with partners. Same goes for orchestrated supply chain. Internal and external cross-functional teams are formed with partners. You can download this chart via link provided in the description of this video. Viewers, if you find value in this video, please consider subscribing to my channel and pressing the bell icon. Thank you.